The forgotten exile. The station was silent. In the cold dark, only the hum of broken machines remained. Metal walls carried scars of battles long forgotten. Dust floated in the air like tiny stars. A man opened his eyes. His name was Marcus. He was human, perhaps the last one anyone in the galaxy would ever see. For a moment, Marcus could not move. His body felt heavy, his head filled with shadows. Slowly, he pushed himself up from the floor. The lights above flickered weakly, as if they too were struggling to survive. He did not know how long he had been asleep. Hours, days, years. The galaxy had forgotten his kind. Long ago, humans were cast out. The great alien councils had called, them dangerous, too ambitious, too bold. They had banished them to the edge of space to die in the dark. Everyone believed the exile had ended humanity, but Marcus was proof that the story was not finished. He staggered down the empty corridor. The walls groaned under his weight. His boots echoed lonely and sharp, each step a reminder that he was truly alone. Then he heard it. Click, crackle, whisper. The sound came from a broken console at the end of the hall. The screen blinked, with strange signals. Marcus wiped the dust away and leaned closer. Lines of old code scrolled across the display. Hidden in the static was a message. His heart froze as the words formed. Humanity was not destroyed. Humanity built something greater. His breath caught in his throat. Could it be true? Had his people survived? Suddenly, the station shuddered. Metal groaned, and Marcus grabbed the console for balance. Outside the viewing port, a shadow passed, a ship, large and silent, gliding through the void. Marcus's chest tightened. No ship should be here. The station was abandoned, forgotten by all maps. The vessel slowed. Its dark shape blocked the stars, its hull marked with strange symbols. Not alien, not familiar. Something else. Who are they? Marcus whispered to himself. The console flared again, as if answering. Fragments of recordings appeared. Voices, speaking of fleets hidden in deep space, of worlds built in secret, of humanity growing strong while the galaxy looked away. It was impossible. The exile had been meant to destroy them. And yet, the evidence whispered another story. The shadow ship turned. Lights glowed along its frame. For a heartbeat, Marcus thought it might be alien patrol, here to erase the last trace of him. His hand shook as he reached for a rusty blaster on the wall. Then the comms crackled alive. Survivor. Do not be afraid. The voice was calm, deep, and human. Marcus's heart pounded. Human? That was impossible. No humans had spoken across these stars in centuries. He pressed the comm button with trembling fingers. "Who are you?" he asked. A pause. Then the reply came. "We are the Forgotten Fleet." The name chilled him. The words from the console returned to his mind. Humanity was not destroyed. He tried to speak, but his throat felt dry. He had lived so long believing. He was alone, believing his people were only ghosts in alien history books. Now he was hearing a human voice again. The ship drifted closer. Its design was unlike any alien vessel Marcus had ever seen. Sleek, sharp, built for war. It carried the pride of builders who had not given up even in exile. The comms voice spoke again. "You must come with us. There is much you need to know." Marcus hesitated. Fear twisted in his chest. Was this real, or just another trap? If aliens had found a way to copy human voices, it could mean death. But deep inside, he felt something else. Hope. He had not felt hope in years. The station lights dimmed further, warning of systems failing. Air was running out. He had no choice. With shaking hands, Marcus opened the docking controls. The shadow ship locked on, its magnetic arms pulling his broken station closer. As the airlock doors hissed open, Marcus stood ready with his blaster. The smoke cleared, revealing figures in armor. Human armor. Human faces. They looked at him, with eyes that carried centuries of secrets. One stepped forward and removed his helmet. He was older, with silver in his beard and scars across his face. "Welcome back, brother," the man said. Marcus lowered his weapon, his chest rising and falling with shock. You survived," the man nodded. "Not only survived, we endured. We built, and now the galaxy will remember us." Marcus felt his knees weaken. His people were alive. The exile had not ended humanity. It had forged something greater. But before he could ask more, alarms blared across the ship. Red lights flashed. The captain turned sharply, his voice hard and urgent. "They've found us." Marcus froze. "Who?" he asked. The captain's eyes burned with old anger. "The aliens who once cast us out." Outside the window, more shadows moved among the stars. This time they were not human. The ghost fleet. The alien ships appeared like hunters in the night. Their hulls glowed with cold light, sharp and cruel against the stars. Marcus stood at the viewing window of the human vessel, his heart racing. He had dreamed of meeting his people again, of finding answers. Instead, danger had arrived with them. The captain, the man with silver beard and scarred face, barked orders. "Shields up! Weapons ready!" The crew moved fast, every step practiced, every motion sharp. Marcus could see it in their faces. They were not survivors hiding in fear. They were soldiers. They had been preparing for this moment for a long time. The alien ship sent a signal across the void. The voice that followed was filled with contempt. "Humans. Broken. Forgotten. Your time has ended. Surrender your vessel or be destroyed." Marcus's fists tightened. He had heard those words before, long ago, when the Council of Aliens exiled his people. The same arrogance, the same belief that humanity was weak. But something inside him knew this ship was not weak. These men and women were not the same desperate exiles of the past. The captain gave a small smile, cold as steel. "They think we are still in chains. Let's remind them of the truth." The ship shuddered as hidden weapons came alive. The walls vibrated, lights turning red as cannons unfolded from dark panels. Marcus felt the air thicken with power. He had never seen technology like this, sleek, quiet, deadly. The first alien ship fired. A lance of plasma shot across space. The human vessel spun, shields flashing bright as the blast struck. The crew moved like dancers, each command answered without hesitation. "Return fire," the captain ordered. Bolts of blue energy roared from the ship's cannons. The nearest alien vessel exploded in a burst of flame, its wreckage scattering across the stars. Marcus's eyes widened. This was no weak remnant. This was strength hidden in silence. The alien voice returned, this time shaking with fury. "Impossible! You should not have this power." The captain's calm reply cut through the comms. "We should not have survived, but we did. And we built while you forgot." Another human volley struck, tearing through alien shields. One by one, the hunters became prey. In minutes, the once proud alien squadron was nothing but drifting wreckage. Silence filled the ship again. Marcus turned to the captain, his voice shaking. How did you survive exile? Everyone believed humanity was gone." The older man looked at him with steady eyes. "We survived because we refused to die. When the galaxy closed its doors, we carved our own path. When they threw us into the dark, we lit our own fire." He walked closer, placing a heavy hand on Marcus's shoulder. "We are the Ghost Fleet, the children of exile. For centuries we built in secret, hidden colonies, armies, worlds the galaxy has never seen. While they mocked our ashes, we forged steel." Marcus struggled to take it in. His mind raced with questions. But why hide? If you had this power, why not return? Why not show the galaxy? The captain's gaze darkened. Because survival was not enough. We watched. We studied. We waited. Every empire falls when the time is right. And when the galaxy least expects it, humanity will rise. His words sent a chill through Marcus's veins. These were not merely survivors. These were conquerors, waiting in silence. The ship's alarms beeped softly, breaking the moment. A crew member spoke. "Captain, long-range sensors detect transmissions. The alien fleet was able to send a distress signal before destruction." The captain nodded slowly. "Then the Alliance knows we are here." Marcus swallowed hard. "The Alliance? You mean all of them?" "Yes," the captain said. His voice was like stone. "The same great powers that cast us out. The Council of Stars will now know the Ghost Fleet is real." Marcus looked through the viewing glass at the drifting wrecks of alien ships. He had wanted to believe this was a dream, but the truth was clear. Humanity had not died. Humanity had endured, waiting in silence. And now, the galaxy's balance had shifted. But he also felt fear. If the Alliance was coming, the battles ahead would not be like this skirmish. The enemy would come with thousands of ships with dreadnoughts the size of cities, with weapons that had crushed countless races before. Could even the Ghost Fleet stand against that? The captain must have seen the doubt in his eyes. He leaned closer and whispered, "You have only seen a glimpse of our power. The fleet you stand upon is not alone. Across the void, hundreds more ships wait, and behind them, worlds that burn with human fire." Marcus's breath caught. Worlds, colonies, an entire empire hidden from sight? The captain stepped back, his voice rising so the whole crew could hear. "The ghosts of humanity will no longer hide. Let the galaxy tremble. Let them come. We are ready." The crew cheered, their voices echoing like thunder through the halls. For the first time, Marcus felt the weight of destiny pressing on his shoulders. But then the console lit up again, urgent and sharp. A new signal. Not alien. Something stranger. The crew went silent as the words came through. Warning. Unknown fleet approaching. Not Alliance. Not alien. Different. The captain's eyes narrowed, and for the first time Marcus thought he saw fear in them. "What have we awakened?" the captain whispered. Outside, beyond the wreckage, new shapes emerged from the dark, and they were not friendly. The Silent Empire. The ship vibrated as the strange new fleet appeared from the darkness. Their shapes were unlike any Marcus had seen before. Long, jagged vessels with glowing veins of light running across their hulls. They moved in silence without broadcasting signals, without making demands. The Ghost Fleet held position. The captain's eyes stayed locked on the viewing screen. His voice was steady but sharp. Not Alliance, not one of the Council races, something else. Marcus leaned forward, his stomach tight. "Then who are they?" The captain did not answer. Instead, he ordered the crew to cloak their weapons and mask their presence. The human ship drifted like a shadow among shadows, pretending to be just another piece of wreckage. Minutes passed. The unknown fleet scanned the ruins of the destroyed alien vessels. Their beams of light swept across twisted metal, searching, studying. Then as quickly as they had appeared, they vanished into the dark. No words, no battle, just silence. Marcus exhaled, only then realizing he had been holding his breath. The captain turned to him. "You asked who we are. It is time you saw." The ship jumped into faster-than-light travel. Stars stretched into lines of white, then melted into endless streaks. Marcus gripped the railing, his mind swirling with fear and curiosity. Where were they going? Hours later, the ship slowed, and the stars snapped back into place. Before Marcus, a new sight filled the window. His mouth fell open. A world. Not a barren rock. Not a dead colony. But a living, thriving world. Cities glittered across its surface. Towers rising like blades of glass. Fleets of human warships patrolled the orbit, their dark hulls gleaming with deadly promise. Giant stations circled the planet like watchful guardians. And beyond, Marcus could see the glow of other worlds, other colonies. It was an empire. The captain's voice carried a note of pride. "Welcome to Haven Prime, the heart of the Silent Empire." Marcus shook his head, unable to believe. But how? The galaxy thought humans were scattered, broken, hiding in scraps, and this is an empire. The captain's eyes hardened. That was the plan, to let them believe we were gone, to let them grow comfortable. Meanwhile, in exile, we built in silence, we built fleets, armies, weapons. We built worlds where our children could grow without alien chains around their necks. This is what exile gave us. Marcus pressed his hands to the glass, staring at the human ships, more advanced than anything he had ever seen. Why hide? So long? Because silence is power, the captain replied. While the galaxy laughed, we sharpened our blades, and when the time comes, we will not rise as beggars asking for a seat. We will rise as rulers. Marcus's heart pounded. He thought of the alien fleets, of the contempt in their voices when they had spoken. Now he saw why the Ghost Fleet had waited. They had not been preparing for survival, they had been preparing for conquest. The ship descended through the clouds, breaking into the atmosphere. Haven Prime stretched below them. Vast cities pulsed with life. Human banners flew high, black and silver, marked with a symbol Marcus did not know. Children laughed in the streets. Soldiers marched in perfect formation. Scientists worked in glowing towers. Humanity was not only alive, it was thriving. The captain led Marcus through the capital. Everywhere he looked, Marcus saw strength and unity. No alien rulers, no alien laws. Only humans, free and unbroken. At last they entered a great chamber, its walls lined with glowing panels and ancient banners. A circle of men and women sat at the center, leaders each carrying the weight of centuries on their shoulders. This, the captain said, is the Council of Humanity. Marcus bowed slightly, unsure what to do. One of the counselors, a woman with eyes like fire, spoke. You are a survivor from the old days. You carry the memory of the first exile. That makes you important. Marcus's voice trembled. Why, I am just one man. Because, she said, you are proof. Proof that the galaxy's lies are broken. They told the stars we were gone. But here you stand, flesh and blood. A witness. Marcus felt the weight of her words. He was no longer just a lost man on a broken station. He was a symbol. The council began to argue among themselves. Some wanted to reveal the Empire now, to strike fear into the Alliance. Others demanded patience, to wait until the time was perfect. Their voices rose, sharp and fierce. Marcus stood in silence, torn between awe and fear. Humanity was alive, powerful, and waiting. But he could not ignore the memory of the strange fleet that had appeared in the dark. At last, the council leader raised her hand and the chamber fell silent. The time of silence is ending, she declared. The Alliance knows we are alive. The unknown fleets move in the shadows. The galaxy stands on the edge of change. Humanity must decide. Will we rule in fire, or will we be hunted once again? Her words echoed through the hall. Marcus's chest tightened. He had thought his return would be simple, a reunion with his people. Instead, he had stepped into the heart of a storm. The council's eyes turned to him, their gazes sharp as blades. You were forgotten by the galaxy, the leader said. Now you will speak for the forgotten. Will you stand with the silent empire or against it? Marcus's voice caught in his throat. Before he could answer, the chamber lights flickered. A soldier rushed inside, his face pale. Counselors, long-range sensors confirm it. The Alliance fleet is moving, thousands of ships, they are coming here. The chamber erupted in shouts. Marcus froze, his mind burning with fear and wonder. The silent empire had stayed hidden for centuries. But now the galaxy was coming to their door, and war was no longer a whisper in the dark. First contact again. The skies above Haven Prime burned with light. From orbit, thousands of Alliance ships arrived like a tide of fire. Their hulls glimmered in silver and gold, each one carrying the banners of ancient alien empires. The void was filled with cruisers, carriers and dreadnoughts the size of floating cities. Humanity's silence was broken. The galaxy had come. Marcus, stood in the great council chamber, staring at the tactical map that painted the threat across the sky. His stomach twisted. He had seen alien fleets before, but never like this. It was not a patrol, not a hunting party. This was a war armada. The councilors shouted at one another, voices clashing like blades. Some demanded an immediate strike. Others warned that a reckless battle would destroy Haven Prime. The captain, his silver beard glowing in the chamber's light, raised his voice above the noise. "We have waited centuries for this. Do not falter now. Humanity does not kneel." The chamber erupted with cheers from some, but Marcus could not cheer. He pressed his palms against the cold surface of the map. The Alliance fleet stretched across half the screen, a wall of power. Could even the Ghost fleet stand against this? The alien signal came soon after. A voice broadcast across every channel, deep and cruel. "Humans, your deception ends today. You were cast out, and yet you dare to build in shadows. You dare to claim power you do not deserve. This is your one chance. Surrender Haven Prime, disarm your fleets, and return to exile. Refuse and be erased." The council chamber fell into silence. Every human in the room listened, their eyes hard, their jaws tight. Then the council leader spoke, her voice calm but unyielding. "We do not surrender. We are no longer your exiles. We are your equals, or your rulers." Her words were sent across the stars, broadcast to every ship in the Armada. The message was simple: humanity would not bow. The first shot came seconds later. A colossal alien dreadnought fired a beam of white energy, slicing through the sky like a blade of light. It struck one of Haven Prime's orbital stations. The metal giant screamed as fire tore through its spine, fragments raining down into the atmosphere. The war had begun. Human ships launched from hidden docks around the planet. Sleek and dark, they streaked into orbit like arrows loosed from a bow. The Ghost fleet had been waiting for this day. Marcus watched as hundreds of human vessels rose to meet the alien wall. The two sides clashed, alien dreadnoughts unleashed, waves of plasma. Human warships danced through the storm, striking back with weapons born of exile. Blue energy bolts, silent torpedoes that vanished and reappeared inside enemy shields, invisible beams that sliced ships in half without warning. The void became a graveyard of burning wrecks. Marcus gripped the railing, his heart hammering. He had never imagined such power. The humans were not weak. They were not prey. They fought like wolves freed from chains. But the alliance was vast. For every alien ship destroyed, 2 more appeared from hyperspace. The humans struck with precision, but the tide pressed harder, threatening to drown them. The captain stood tall at the front of the chamber, his voice echoing through the comms. "Hold the line. Show them what exile forged." Marcus's eyes burned as he watched human ships tear through enemy formations. Smaller alien vessels scattered like insects crushed beneath human fire. And yet, the dreadnoughts advanced. One by one, they closed in on Haven Prime. The council leader turned to Marcus suddenly. Her gaze was sharp, heavy with meaning. "Do you see now? This is why we waited. This is why we hid. Survival is no longer enough. If we do not rise, we will be destroyed." Marcus could only nod, his throat dry. He finally understood the Silent Empire's purpose. This was not just about survival. This was about destiny. Outside, the largest dreadnought of the Alliance moved forward. Its shadow fell across the planet, its cannons charging with the light of annihilation. The tactical map flared red, warning of catastrophic impact. If it fired, Haven Prime itself would burn. The chamber shook as alarms wailed. The captain slammed his fist against the console. "If that dreadnought fires, everything we built is ash." "Then stop it," the council leader ordered. Marcus stared at the dreadnought's monstrous size. "How?" "It's too strong." The captain's eyes narrowed. "Not if we use the weapon." The chamber froze. The counselors exchanged uneasy glances. Marcus felt the tension shift, thick and dangerous. "What weapon?" Marcus asked. The captain looked at him with grim certainty. "The one we swore never to use. the one that could end worlds as easily as ships. Exile forced us to build it, but we buried it in the dark, waiting for the day it was needed. Marcus's blood ran cold. You mean a super weapon? The council leader's voice was steel. Yes, a weapon born from the silence of exile. One strike, and that dreadnought will fall. But once used, the galaxy will know the true terror of humanity. Marcus felt the weight of the moment pressing on his chest. If they fired this weapon, there would be no going back. Humanity would no longer be hidden. They would be feared, hated, hunted. The captain's hand hovered over the command. The counselors shouted, some demanding restraint, others urging him to unleash it. The alarms screamed louder as the dreadnought's weapon neared completion. Finally, the captain looked at Marcus. You were a witness to our exile. You carry the memory of the beginning. Tell me, should humanity stay silent, or should we roar? Marcus's lips parted, but no words came. He could only stare at the glowing dreadnought outside, knowing his answer could change the galaxy forever. And then the dreadnought fired. The fire awakens. The alien dreadnought's cannon flared brighter than a sun. Energy gathered into a single burning point, aimed at Haven Prime below. Marcus felt the floor tremble under his boots. He could almost hear the death of millions waiting in that growing light. His chest tightened until he could barely breathe. The captain's voice cut through the chaos. Prepare the weapon. The council chamber erupted in cries of protest. Some shouted against it. It is too dangerous. We swore never to use it. Others demanded action. If we do nothing, Haven Prime will burn. Marcus's pulse pounded in his ears. His eyes flicked between the glowing dreadnought and the captain's steel gaze. He remembered the man's words. Exile forced us to build it. Now he would see what that meant. The human flagship's lower decks rumbled as colossal doors opened, revealing something hidden deep inside. On the tactical map, Marcus watched as a shape unfolded, a weapon as large as the ship itself. Long, dark, and silent, it looked like a spear forged from shadows. Project Firestorm, the captain said. His voice carried both pride and sorrow. Born in exile, forged from desperation. One strike from this, and no shield in the galaxy will hold. Marcus's throat tightened. He had seen weapons before, but nothing like this. This was not defense. This was judgment. The weapon locked onto the dreadnought. The alien cannon reached its peak, white light shaking the void as it prepared to unleash death. Fire! The captain roared. The human weapon screamed. A beam of pure energy shot across space, silent but unstoppable. It carved through the dreadnoughts, shields as if they were paper slicing deep into its core. For one heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the dreadnought exploded. The blast was blinding, a wave of fire that shattered fleets and burned across the void. Wreckage spun into the darkness, glowing like falling stars. The Alliance armada staggered, their formation broken by the shock. Marcus gripped the railing, his mouth open in awe. The dreadnought, the pride of the Alliance, was gone. Not crippled, not damaged. Erased. The chamber fell silent, every counselor staring at the viewing screen in disbelief. Even the captain lowered his head for a moment as if mourning what had just been unleashed. The fire has awakened, he whispered. Marcus turned to him. With one strike, you destroyed a dreadnought. The Alliance will never forgive this. They were never going to forgive us, the captain replied. His eyes burned with cold certainty. Now they will fear us. Outside, the battlefield shifted. Human ships surged forward, their morale blazing. Alien cruisers faltered, retreating. Under the sudden fury of the Ghost Fleet. For the first time in centuries, the Alliance was on the defensive. But Marcus felt no relief. His stomach twisted with dread. He saw the fear in the counselors' eyes, not of the aliens, but of their own weapon. The council leader spoke, her voice low. Now the galaxy knows. We are no longer ghosts. We are fire. The word spread through every channel, broadcast to human fleets across the stars. Soldiers cheered, voices rising like thunder. To them, this was victory. To Marcus, it was something darker. He leaned closer to the captain. "If you use this weapon again, you won't just win battles, you'll burn the galaxy." The captain did not look at him. His gaze stayed on the tactical map, watching as more alien reinforcements arrived. "Then let it burn," he said, softly. The Alliance regrouped, forming a massive wall of ships. Thousands remained, and more were coming. Despite the dreadnought's destruction, the battle was far from over. The council leader raised her hand. "Prepare Firestorm for another strike." Marcus stepped forward, his voice desperate. "Stop. If you use it again, the galaxy will unite against us. They will see us as monsters, not as equals." The chamber turned quiet. All eyes fell on Marcus, the survivor of the old exile. One counselor sneered. "And what would you have us do? Kneel again? Beg for mercy from those who left? Us to die?" Marcus shook his head. "No, but there must be another way. If we show mercy, if we prove we can fight without destroying worlds, some will join us. Not all aliens are our enemies." The room divided. Half the council murmured in agreement, the other half shouted in rage. The debate grew louder, fiercer. Meanwhile, outside, the Alliance fleet advanced again. Alien voices roared across comms, filled with fury and fear. "Humans, you will pay for this crime. You will pay for daring to wield forbidden fire." Marcus's blood ran cold. Forbidden fire. The way the aliens spoke carried weight, as if they knew something more about humanity's weapon. He turned sharply to the captain. "What does he mean? Why call it forbidden?" For the first time, Marcus saw the captain hesitate, his jaw clenched. His eyes flickered with something Marcus had not seen before. Guilt. "There are things you do not yet understand," the captain said quietly. "The weapon, it was not built only by us." Marcus's heart skipped. "Then who?" Before he could finish, the ship shook violently. Another alarm screamed. The tactical map flared with new signals. The unknown fleet had returned. The jagged ships with glowing vanes appeared on the edge of the battlefield, slipping from the shadows. They ignored the Alliance. They ignored the humans. Instead, they moved with cold precision, surrounding both sides. The council leader's voice trembled. "Not Alliance, not ours. Then who are they?" Marcus stared at the new fleet, his chest tightening with dread. The comms crackled. A voice spoke at last, from the unknown ships, hollow and mechanical. "Fire belongs to us. Return what was stolen or burn with the rest." The chamber froze. Marcus felt his blood run cold. The Firestorm weapon had awakened more than human power. It had awakened something far older, and it was coming for them all. The Council of Stars, the battlefield, hung in silence. Human ships and Alliance ships drifted apart, their weapons aimed but not firing. Every eye turned toward the newcomers, the jagged, vein-glowing vessels that surrounded them all. Their presence was like a shadow, stretching across the stars. The comms repeated the same message, cold and merciless. "Fire belongs to us. Return what was stolen or burn with the rest." Marcus felt the words like ice pressing against his chest. He had thought the Firestorm was humanity's creation, born of exile. Now he understood. It was something older. Something borrowed. Or stolen. The captain stood tall, his voice steady though his eyes betrayed unease. "We will not surrender. The Firestorm is ours. Humanity forged it in exile." The unknown fleet gave no reply. Their ships simply tightened formation, glowing veins pulsing brighter like predators ready to strike. Suddenly, the alien Alliance dreadnoughts broadcast a new message, not to humans but to everyone. "To all species, hear this. The humans have awakened forbidden fire. This power was sealed long ago by the Council of Stars. If left unchecked, it will burn us all." The return of humanity. The sky above Haven Prime was no longer a battlefield. It was a storm. The Alliance fleets still hovered in orbit, their dreadnoughts scarred but unbroken. Now the architects had joined them, dark, jagged vessels with glowing veins of ancient fire. Between the two forces, Haven Prime looked small, fragile, caught in the jaws of history. Marcus stood in the council chamber, his chest tight. He had once thought exile was humanity's greatest wound. But now he understood. Exile had been only the beginning. This moment, this storm, would decide if humanity lived, ruled, or vanished forever. The captain's voice broke the silence. The Alliance wants us destroyed. The architects want their weapon returned. Both see us as nothing more than thieves. But we are more than that. We are the children of exile. We are fire made flesh. The council leader's eyes burned. Then we show them. Alarms screamed as architect ships descended, cutting through the upper atmosphere. Their weapons glowed with the same energy as the firestorm. Marcus felt his throat tighten. If the architects truly made that weapon, then humanity's power might be useless against them. Still, the Ghost Fleet launched. From hidden docks and orbital stations, thousands of human warships rose into the sky. They moved in perfect unity, black hulls sharp as blades, banners of silver flame flying high. For the first time, the silent empire revealed its true size. The Alliance fleets hesitated. The galaxy had thought humans were shadows, but the shadows had become an empire, and the empire now filled the stars. Marcus felt the tension in the chamber. Every choice was heavy, every word dangerous. He stepped forward, his voice breaking through the chaos. Listen to me. You cannot fight both at once. If you try, we will all be destroyed. But if we choose carefully, we can win. The council turned to him. The leader's gaze was sharp. And what would you choose, survivor? Marcus swallowed hard. The Alliance will never forgive us. They will always see us as exiles. But the architects, they fear something. They called the firestorm stolen. That means they are not gods. They can be hurt. If we strike them, if we break them, then the galaxy will see us not as thieves, but as the new rulers of fire. The chamber went silent. The council leader studied him for a long moment, then nodded slowly. Then humanity will make its choice. We strike the architects first. The captain slammed his fist against the table. All fleets prepare. The architects came to claim what is theirs. Instead, they will learn what exile has made of us. The order spread like lightning. Human warships adjusted formation, focusing not on the Alliance but on the jagged intruders. The Alliance commanders watched in shock as the Ghost Fleet turned its full fury toward the architects. The battle began. The architects unleashed beams of burning light, tearing through human shields. Their weapons pulsed with ancient energy, carving ships apart like paper. But humanity did not break. They answered with firestorm cannons, with silent torpedoes that warped through space, with technology born from centuries of desperate survival. Marcus watched from the chamber as the void turned into fire. Human ships fell, but architect vessels shattered too. For the first time, the galaxy saw the so-called forgotten exiles stand against legends. Then the architects unleashed something new. A massive vessel emerged from the shadows, larger than any dreadnought. Its vanes glowed brighter than a sun. Marcus felt the chamber tremble as its presence filled the sky. That is their core ship, the captain said grimly. The heart of their fleet. The council leader turned to Marcus. You spoke of destiny. Here it is. You will lead the strike. Marcus's eyes widened. Me? I am no soldier. You are more, she said. You are the witness, the survivor of exile. The galaxy must see humanity's return through your eyes. Marcus's chest tightened, but he nodded. He boarded a smaller command vessel, its crew saluting him as their symbol. As they rose into the storm, he stared at the massive architect ship. His fear was real, but so was his fire. The final assault began. Human ships swarmed the core vessel, striking its shields again and again. Firestorm beams lanced across its hull, tearing chunks of armor away. The architects fought back, their weapons slicing through human fleets, their voice echoing across comms. You cannot claim fire. Fire consumes all. Marcus gritted his teeth. Then let it consume you, he gave the order. Every firestorm weapon in range locked onto the core ship. Energy built until the void itself shook. Fire. Beams of blinding light struck the architect vessel at once. Its shields cracked, its veins shattered. For a moment, Marcus thought the galaxy itself was breaking. Then, with a soundless roar, the core ship exploded. The blast ripped through the battlefield. Architect ships flickered, their vanes dimming. Some fled. Others simply went dark, drifting powerless. The silent empire had won. Cheers filled the human comms, but Marcus did not cheer. He looked at the burning wreckage and knew the truth. The architects were not destroyed, only wounded. They would return. The council leader's voice filled the channel, strong and unyielding. The galaxy has seen. Humanity is no longer exile. We are empire. We are fire. And we will rule the stars. Her words echoed across the void, reaching every fleet, every colony, every ruler watching. Humanity's return was no longer a whisper. It was a declaration. Marcus closed his eyes. He had dreamed of finding his people again, of belonging. Now he knew what belonging meant, not survival but conquest. Humanity had chosen its path. When he opened his eyes, he looked upon the shattered battlefield and whispered to himself, "The galaxy will never forget us again." But deep inside he wondered, had humanity truly won? Or had they only awakened something that would one day burn them too?